The more it is for the people.
Correct.
Walao.
The People's Mosque. It's the People's Mosque. We are now in front of this building. If you want to feel something, this is a very good spot. Understanding spiritual dynamics. Energy is very stale in Buckingham. Good evening, everybody. I'm Eugene Tay from Supernatural Confessions, and welcome to a brand new season of Haunting History, where we explore the darker side of Singapore's past. This season, we are going to touch on how the scars of our history have affected our present. And with me in the studio today is my very special guest, Zaki.
Hi, my name is Zaki. I'm a content creator. I do a bit of comedy. This is my first haunted horror show of some sort. I think comedy and horror got a bit of similarities.
Oh, sure, it goes hand in hand.
Right.
How they deal with horror sometimes is they laugh.
Isn't that why it goes also a lot of laughter also?
Like that. What is your belief when it comes to the supernatural?
Because I'm Muslim, I have to believe also. But at the same time, I don't see things, you know. But I've seen like exorcism before.
Wow. So you don't see anything, but your first experience is exorcism. That is like high level, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the first level?
Most people will tell me, oh, I sleep, I cannot pressed, right? Sleep paralysis.
Oh, paralysis.
Or I'm in my room on my own, then I hear people whispering my voice. I turn, nobody. So today, the place I'm going to bring you has a lot of stories. But how true are these stories? Because if you go to this place today and you look around, it does not even give you a sense of fear or even play on your imagination that it's anything at all. But not too long ago, this place used to be a kampong, and that's where some of the most haunted stories come from. Tonight, we are going to explore the fascinating history of a vibrant and well-known district amongst youths and tourists alike, especially amongst the Malays. Zaki, can you tell me what you know about Kampong Glam?
Wow, Kampong Glam? Okay, I know that it's nice for dates. Okay, it's a hub for local culinary. If you want to open a restaurant, normally my generation will open somewhere at my generation, the Malays will open at somewhere at Arab Street, that area. Besides that, a lot of carpets. But I haven't seen a flying carpet, so I don't know, I don't associate it with horror or haunted.
But today, I'll show you a side of Kampong Glam that you do not read about online. And these are mostly tales passed down through generation.
I know why we don't learn. It's because we don't focus on haunted history.
That's why
we have Eugene.
This is a very important show. So you go to school, you read your history books, but go home, click Haunting History.
Correct.
Are we ready?
Can let's
Jom, let's go. So bro.
Yes, bro.
We're standing here at Kampong Glam.
Thanks. I always come here for dates.
Right? How did Kampong Glam get its name? Pronounced as Kampong Glam, but spelled as Glam. It's actually named after. This place is named after the glam tree.
Okay. What makes the difference between a glam tree and normal tree?
First of all, when you press this bark,
Yeah.
it's very soft, right?
Yeah, okay.
So this glam tree was actually in abundance all over this place back then. So the orang lawat would use this glam tree to build their boats. Because the orang lawat was living here, and this glam tree was basically their livelihood. Building from boats to grinding the fruits for the pepper and boiling the leaves. And this was very important. It's boiling the leaf for an ointment.
What ointment?
So the base ingredient, what the locals would call is kayu putih. Today it's still used in tiger balm.
Oh, so this was their tiger balm last time.
Yeah, so all the rheumatism, the pain, the wounds, the bruises.
Sorry.
This one tree can settle everything. But unfortunately, the only glam tree left in Kampong Glam is here and right over there.
Oh, really?
That's it. What do you remember about this place?
I do remember this is the melting pot for innovation in culinary for halal restaurants. That's what I remember. And also last time, the Sultan Mosque mostly. So it's a very like a recreation. I see it as a lively place. Got Aliwal Art Center here. If you hear the music, it's most probably from Aliwal.
For the viewers who remember those times, this place was known to be Singapore's Shisha Central.
Oh, shisha! Yeah!
Remember not?
Oh my god!
But when it was legal, we were all sitting, but the whole Berdere, like whole area.
How young are you?
I'm 25. Kampong Glam was very different back then, and the Haji Lane today is all hipster with a lot of shops, right? Back when I was growing up, it was dead town. Okay, you mentioned Sultan Mosque.
Yeah.
That is the most iconic place here.
Correct.
I'm going to bring you to another place here that's also iconic. It was actually converted into the Malay Heritage Centre. Unfortunately, it's still renovating right now while we are talking, so you cannot go in. But have you heard of the Istana in Kampong Glam?
Never.
Never, huh?
Yeah.
Follow me, because the Istana is not just a place, a seat for the Sultan, but it's also the site for multiple hauntings. Come, let's go.
Hey, this guy, the more goes, the more he want to go. No, I don't want to go, but it's okay lah.
Behind this door is Istana Kampong Glam.
Oh, this is the before the Dhoby Ghaut Istana one.
Before the Big Istana.
Oh, this is the OG.
This is the OG.
I didn't know.
So in 1819, right, British came, Sir Stafford Raffles came. They needed to build a trading outpost here
Here?
in Singapore.
Oh, in Singapore. Okay,
Right?
here.
So they had to carve out the different places to do business. So the Ang Moh stay one part, there's the civic district. Then the Chinese in Chinatown, the Malays and the Arabs are placed right here in Kampong Glam area.
Oh, okay. Wow,
Back then,
back
all
then,
the categorization.
Categorized, okay.
But to also make the Sultan happy, because he's Malay, they placed his istana here. They built this istana for him and says you can now stay here and control the land around you.
Oh.
And on top of that, here's $3,000, you can build a mosque for your people. It all sounds nice and good, right?
Yeah.
But even back then, there was a bit of drama and political struggle already. Okay, so Dutch were controlling here, right? I'll give you the Cliff Notes version, okay?
I didn't even know Dutch was controlling here,
So Dutch was controlling all the shipment areas around here, they were in power.
Okay,
so
good.
British had to muscle their way through. But unfortunately back then in Singapore, the younger brother, the Sultan's younger brother, was in power because their father died and the younger brother took over as the Sultan.
Oh.
So he had one leg together with the Dutch. But British came, Raffles came, said, hey, I want to muscle also, I want to have a trading business here. So what do I do? Now, they went to the older brother, who was admittedly not quite Chai lah. He's quite the useless of the two lah.
I know where this is going already. Okay.
Very Sindewara.
Very Sandiwara.
So he went up to the eldest brother and says, hey, you allow your younger brother to step over you and be Sultan. They're useless. But you know what? The British respects you as the elder brother. We recognize you as a Sultan.
Wow.
But if you sign here and you let me do trading and you give me the land, I recognize you. After that, Sultan stay here. Everything was nice, right? He thought, now I'm king, I'm Sultan. But no, sir. In 1824, John Crawford, a name that you should know, right? He was the second resident of Singapore. Don't count Raffles. Raffles. Then there was William Farquhar
okay.
and John Crawford. So he's a writer, he travels around Southeast Asia writing books, and according to what I read in history, he has a penchant for releasing slaves. So in 1824, dubbed the Treaty of Friendship and Alliance. Take note of the name, bro. The Treaty of Friendship and Alliance.
Must be good lah.
Must be good, right?
Must be good,
Sounds great, right?
Yeah lah, fair
But no. John Crawford came down to the Sultan at Temenggong and says, hey, I want all of Singapore now, I'm not just happy with this part. You don't give me the land, I don't give you your allowance. Unless you give me all of Singapore. So the Sultans, their men, all sit at the table, talked to John Crawford, and ceded Singapore to the British. And that's how whole of Singapore fell into British control. Yeah.
Then the Dutch do what?
The Dutch was chased out. Raffles now took over, and in this place, right, they don't like the Sultan very much. And according to some history books, the Sultan was lazy, he was just eating and drinking and getting really fat. But he had 27 slaves, female slaves. Remember I mentioned something about John Crawford being sympathizer to slaves?
Yeah.
So for some reason, 27 slaves, female slaves, managed to escape. You interpret what managed to escape means lah.
I also don't know which one to hate, the Sultan because of the slave or the Crawford guy.
Already having had the Sultan ceded whole of Singapore to him, freed his slaves, to rub salt on an open wound and add insult to him even further, they built an entire road through his istana.
Wow, he's a troll. And he named it after Queen Victoria.
Yeah. This entire place was deserted for a short period of time. And that's when, hearsay by the way, people started saying they can hear Pontianak crying, they can see ghosts on the balcony.
You see.
So this is Istana Kampong Glam story. Right where we are standing, diagonal from us, where you can look now, that is Gudong Kuning. Clearly, why it's called Gudong Kuning, because it's yellow.
Yellow.
That place used to be the home of a very powerful Bomoh. According to a story that I've heard from my tour mentor, Pauline, she said there used to be a Bomoh who was staying there, and people in Kampong Glam would go to him for advice or for healing.
He must be the Sultan's one also,
Possibly.
Possibly, yeah, could be. Near place.
And the other folklore that I've heard, and maybe you can verify this for me, right?
Yeah.
All these places of power, seats, throne of power, they usually have a guardian spirit.
Correct.
Like, what do you call it? The penunggu.
Correct.
So the question is, when the Sultan leaves the place, does the penunggu spirit still reside in that place, or does it follow?
It feels like the whatever that is here, it feels like it's protecting the place than caring for fun.
Yeah. Let us go to another spot where we'll talk more about the Sultan Mosque itself.
Oh, Sultan also got?
That one got no ghost lah. This is the iconic structure and it's been here since 1824. But back then the mosque was not like that, bro.
Really?
One story, very simple.
So this is a recent development lah.
As recent as 1924.
Oh, still old lah, bro.
Still old.
Still old.
If you think about it, 1824 to 1924 is 100 years. And 1924 to today?
2024.
200 years.
So we are celebrating the 200 years of this mosque actually.
Correct. The other interesting thing about this mosque, and it's actually, you can see it today. Right below that dome, there's a black color belt.
Yeah.
No, that's bottles, man. The bottom of the bottles.
Oh, it looks black, but I can see a bit of like a
round. Because in 1924, when they were trying to revamp this place and build a bigger mosque to accommodate the increasing population, some of the things that people donated were bottles. So if you don't have money to give, you go around collecting bottles lah.
Wow, so your grandma might have been a donor to this place, you know? If she donated bottles, right?
Bottles, yes.
Don't need to be rich.
And in 1942 in fact, during the wartime, this mosque gates was open to Malays and different ethnic groups to come in and seek shelter.
Wow, the more it is for the people.
Correct.
Walao.
The people's mosque in 1950s.
But it's after the war.
After the war. This entire area saw fighting and bloodshed and the evils of men and how they treat other human beings. Maria Hertogh Riot. Familiar?
I got read before. My teacher last time teach the history lesson, but I didn't know it's here.
Okay, technically the Maria Hertogh Riot did not start here. To be fair.
Makes sense.
Okay?
Makes sense.
It started off at the Padang. Why? Because the Supreme Court used to be there. Now today it's taken over by the National Gallery. Give you a bit of background information, right, of this Maria Hertogh Riot. So Maria Hertogh was a Dutch Catholic girl who was handed over to a Malay Muslim family to take care of the child.
Yeah,
Right? So her parents left Singapore. There was Dutch descent. They left Singapore during the war.
Yeah.
Now after the war, they came back and they say, "Hey, I want my daughter back." Unfortunately, the daughter has already grown to a woman, has taken on a Malay name and adopted Islam. The foster parent says, "No, you can't have her back. She's ours now."
Correct.
So who's correct, who is wrong? Tough.
Yeah.
Go to court. Court decided the biological parents should have the rightful ownership of the girl.
Okay.
Right? So, the Malays were not happy. So it was such a sensational news that people from Malaysia also came to Singapore just to take part.
Malaysia.
So it was at the Padang and the result was announced and people went crazy because it became, how come the Catholic won?
Oh.
They don't care about the biological family background or whatever it is or who the girl belongs to. It became a Malay versus the Catholics. From the Padang, they started fighting. The police, of course, have to come in and intervene, right? But there was more rioters than police. So they had to disperse everyone. And guess where the rioters went to after being dispersed from the Padang? Okay, they came all the way here to Kampong Glam.
I see.
Malay enclave, right? Our people. But what's terrible is, even if you're Eurasian, and it's not your problem, you're considered the enemy. 18 people died and 173 people were wounded. So Eurasians were attacked. Anyone who's not Malay Muslims were attacked. It happened right here in front of the mosque. Can you imagine a riot with so much anger and emotional investment into it? How long do you think it lasts?
If I angry one day, I cannot go beyond one day.
Cannot go beyond one day. Eventually it will cool down, right?
Yeah.
The riot lasts for 3 days, bro. 3 days. Okay lah, come jom. Let's go back to studio and talk more about it.
Okay lah.
Let's go. Teh tarik.
Tarik.
Zaki, wow, you look like a man reborn, bro.
I feel educated. I feel in fact, you know, your history didn't make me scared of Haji Lane, the Arab Street. No, it makes me feel more like Haji Lane is the people's lane.
And sometimes it may even make you, I dare say, wonder or be compassionate to a haunting of a place.
Yeah, you are right. I feel like, for example, we were at the Istana. You said that people had some stories, and then now I know that wow, that place has some sort of something that want to defend it lah. So now, as a person, I will want to respect it lah.
Correct. So we've gone to the places today. Which of our location tonight that really captured your imagination?
Wow, okay. The best fun fact that I learned from you was the Glam tree. So whenever I go to Kampong Glam, that area, right, I will also show off that tree to my friends now. Yeah, it's something I can like show off about lah. It's very useful to build social currency for me.
Yeah.
The Masjid Sultan was cool. I see it every day. But it's also cool to know that the Maria Hertogh Riot ended up there, right?
We are going to call the Sultan's Mosque as the People's Mosque.
Thank you. You know what? That is my new favorite thing. And remember to cite the bottles. I feel like the bottle is the very important part of the story.
I want to hear from your mind, the mind of the millennial. What did you learn from the Maria Hertogh Riot?
I feel like more people should know about the history instead of just seeing Kampong Glam as what it is lah. Because I feel like it gives some sort of perspective to how far Kampong Glam has come, and there's a reason why it feels like the people's neighborhood in that sense. I appreciate Kampong Glam now. It's always been one of my top favorites. Now also still my favorite with the history in mind.
These situations remind us to handle issues of race and religion with sensitivity, especially in a world where the internet and social media are prevalent. It is a reminder to be wary of what we say both online and offline, and how words and action carry significant weight. My list, our rule. And what audience you have not seen after the camera has stopped rolling was that someone actually walked up to us. He has lineage with the first owners of the Istana, and he shared with us very interesting insights. I think the sentiment I felt from him was a bit of a very kesian. You know, you come from royalty, you have this lineage, this land belongs to you, but you were robbed of this land. First Orang Laut people, the first Sultan lineage had their land robbed too. We just don't talk about that, and that to me makes up part of dark history. Hey, I think they're watching us, huh? Hey, hi guys! Hey, thank you so much for watching Haunting History with us. And if you've enjoyed this episode, please
like, comment, share, and subscribe.
okay.
Correct.
See you. Bye-bye.